Every week is a new type of glasses, is a new type of device, is a new type, better, more interesting. But what they are showing us with devices is not art yet. I want to go away, somewhere so far that I'm unreachable, but fucks itself.
De in Servië geboren Marina Abramovic werd wereldberoemd als performancekunstenaar. In haar nieuwste werk Rising waagt ze zich voor het eerst aan virtual reality. We are here to talk about VR.
Okay.
What does VR allow you to do that AR, actual reality, does not?
I have a very funny relation to technology for a long time. I actually, in the beginning, really hated technology because I was thinking it was like kind of obstacle to the really inner peace of human being. And right now, my approach to technology is radically changed. I think there's nothing wrong with technology. Everything is wrong with our relation to technology that we have, that took every possible time with us because we have kind of addictive nature. But when I started being interested in VR, it was something that to do looking into the idea of limits of the body. Body have its own limits, and my whole research in my work was always to push mental, physical limits as far as they can go. And then I find out there is some point that you have to face, limit.
To face the facts that
and then maybe you're just going to die in the process, so which is not the point of the work. So then, I say, wow, if I want to levitate, if I wanted to lie on the ice blocks, if I wanted to, do things that I absolutely can't do in any other way, I can do it in VR, in virtual reality. And this was like a mind-blowing idea. And one thing which is interesting about new technologies is always the same problem. We get fascinated about possibility of new technology, and we actually forget the content. All of these new technologies, they're missing content. They're missing something which become art, which become transcendental, which become just more than technology itself. And in the early times when the video was invented, it was the same problem. The camera was using like, oh my God, the new great device, and there was actually bullshit content, there was nothing to see, till Namjoon Paik arrived. Namjoon Paik arrived, and he put Buddha inside the television, filmed the Buddha, and put another Buddha in the front watching the Buddha on TV. It creates completely another context and creates something which was like, oops, you start thinking. So we have to take the tools and actually work with them and dismiss them, and then create something different and important, and then become art. And we are too much fascinating about this new technology that we still are not creating the real, true art with them.
And did you approach this VR or Rising a bit like you would approach performance art or a performance?
No, I really, how I work generally. People always get confused how things I'm doing. But I first work I really first have to get idea. And when idea is something that I definitely wanted to do because I feel this some kind of
necessity.
Not this only necessity, but strange kind of feeling in my stomach. I'm vibrating or something like, muscles are tensing. So I know, oh my God, I have to do this. Then I have to find out which tools are the best that I can use to do this. So I think I need, for this particular idea, I need to do photography, or I need video, or I have to direct opera. Now I'm just directing new opera. Or I have to play in somebody else's work, or I have to perform myself, or I have to only work with audience, and audience have to perform. So that's how that I create ideas. And then in this case, I really was interested to do something I never done before. I wanted to make video game for the large amount of participants.
But a video game as art, right?
This is another thing. That's very good questions about when especially when I was young. They was always asking, "Oh, this bullshit performance. Why is this art? Why everything is art? This is not art. There is nothing." And I always, the only way that I can answer this, I say, okay, if you're the baker and you make the best possible bread, and this is like really like the best loaf of bread you ever taste. And is this art? No, it's just the baker making very good bread. But if the same bread is made in the gallery and is made by Joseph Beuys, this will be art. So the context actually make the difference. So what I'm doing, I'm an artist, and I've been always an artist. And since I was born, I can't do anything else. I can't have family, children, all this stuff. I'm not interested. I'm just interested in the work. And that means that what you see, what I'm doing, have to be in context of art. Can't be in any other context.
In Rising, you have an avatar, and it's created in your own likeness. Why? And did you ever consider someone else or something else?
Why I should consider something else? I have this very old professor that was teaching me. He was a painter, was an old man. He was in his late 80s in Zagreb, in Croatia. And he said once to me, when you have in your life as an artist, if you get one good idea, it's so priceless. But if you're real genius, you maybe have two good ideas, but be very careful with both of them. And I'm thinking in my life, I'm not far away from genius, so probably I got just one good idea. And that good idea is working with my own body. Because my own body is any other body. We all have the same structure, we have same type of bones, the heart, how function, the lungs, the entire setup is a very precise machine. So by understanding my body, I can understand other bodies. So why I should look into anything else than myself?
In Rising, you're in a glass tank. It's filled with water, and if the audience pledges to help the environment, you will live.
Yeah.
But if they don't, the water rises and you die. Is that something you would do in real life as a performance?
I've done some similar things in real life when I expose audience to the possibility to kill me. So it's not something new. But to me, which is interesting, let's go back to the virtual reality. I'm really interested in that subject that we are talking. A long time ago, I think it was in the actually late 90s, I was in very far away in Japan, in some North island. And I never play video games. I'm not kind of interested. And actually it just happened that it was one machine who was fascinating me, and I played this video game. The game was about orphanage, and the children in this orphanage caught the fire and they're burning. I mean, they're not burning children, burning orphanage.
The building was on fire.
The building was on fire. And the firefighters, you can be one of firefighters, was running into the burning building and saving the children. So you can have 10 children in your hands, or 20, or 3, or 5, or just as fast as you can. And every time you save the child, it was like you win, you win, you win. And the feeling of kind of goodness, and feeling that you're doing something so positive. You're actually
not
achieving
killing something, you're saving something.
You're saving something, achieving. It was overwhelming experience, and I really went into this video game to save as much children as I can. And then later later on, when all the video games you're confronted is all about aggression, about violence, about how much you kill, how much you raise, how much do damage, and that really would affect your mind in as many ways. So when I was when I was asked to do VR project, I was concerned really of which audience is going to actually participate in this project, and it's really young kids. For me, that's the future. I mean, young kids now, when they work, the nature is the television and the machine. They can do this in 3 seconds, and I have such a problem, to connect things and to understand. But with the kids, is a second nature. So to really give them something that can have that same kind of feeling I had once, to do something good and something to save and something. So here is a very simple thing in a video game. Or you save a human being and you save Earth at the same time, or you kill human being and kill the Earth.
Apart from Rising, Film Institute will also show, or is also showing already, Iñárritu's Carne y Arena.
I had a big conversation with Iñárritu for the festival the last year. We had a public talk. They asked him which artist he wanted to talk to, and it was me. So we had this big talk talking about virtual reality, and he's like a child like me. He's like a new territory that we never walk. So let's walk this new territory. Let's see. Let's make our mistakes. Let's make our failures, and maybe we find something interesting. But we have to work with technology. We have to actually disregard it. You have to just take as a tool, like a brush, like a broom, and then smash it, change it, break it, and find something, the real treasure.
Is that what artists are supposed to do?
Absolutely. Yeah, decompose and compose again and find a new way of seeing.
This video game will present players with the opportunity to save lives in urban landscapes, radically altered by catastrophic flooding.
What kind of media you want to express yourself? You have to find the right tools for what you want to say. If it's installation or photographic work, or is video, or is a performance, it's not every media is good for you. There are great painters who never can be performers, and great performers who never can be painters. So you have to find who you are. And the moment I stood in the front of audience, that energy and that kind of almost on molecular kind of platform, the exchange of vibrations of everything. I was live. I was for the first time living. It was, wow, this was it. This was my medium.
But could VR give you, or even augmented reality, could that give you that same feeling?
But we are not talking about the same feelings. We are talking different feelings. It's why we have to have the same feeling about anything. You never can wash hands twice in the same running river. Never. So the life goes all the time. So the VR is one reality, gives you one feeling. Then real performance is another one. A cup of tea with a friend is the third. Everything is possible. We have to see this, that many events parallel in time happening, and they're okay. And we should not be afraid of that. We are so nostalgic how past is and how the future should be, and only the reality is the present. The past happened. The future didn't. And the present is all what we have.
But if you have a rich past like yourself, does that make it more difficult to live in the present?
I don't care about the past. I never look into past. The only time I really feel old when I see what I've been doing, and I've done a lot. I always see what's the next. I don't live in past. And then also I'm incredibly curious. The trick is to wake up in the morning and be curious like a child and see the world always for the first time, like, wow, look at this. Virtual reality, wonderful, let's go for it.